Shalom, I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Ha-Rakah Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. And also want to acknowledge all the Akyam pushing this truth with sincerity in Babylon. All right. This is Shabai of GMS Denver. And I'm going in on Genesis 19:1. It says, and there came two angels, and there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom, and Lot seeing them rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. All right, so angels, we know the angels are the ones who are in the chariots, driving, controlling the chariots. But in this verse here, it's showing you that the angels can also be like men if they want to take that form. All right, so we're going to read. It says, and he said, behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your ways. And they said, nay, but we will abide in the street all night. So, you would have to imagine, are the angels like saying, hey, we're going to just be in the chariot? Or were they in human form? Because they can do either way. So, Lord willing, through the Spirit, there'll be more knowledge on how that really went down. But I'm going to go to a precept in Hebrews. Let's see. This is going to be 13:2. It says, be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. So, hey, man, if there's somebody who has this, spirit that you just gravitate to being in this truth, then, hey, that could be an angel, There are real angels that are in like a form of a man. And, the word angel means messenger, So it's happened, it says in the Bible that it's happened that sometimes, people have entertained angels who were strangers, and they were unaware of who they were dealing with. So, some humans are angels come in a human form. And let's go back to that Genesis 19:1. And it says, and he pressed on them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into the house, and made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. All right, so Lot's spirit, he was aware of who these angels were, who these men were. He had that spirit. He was an elect. So as an elect, you should be able to determine, hey, man, this person right here could be an angel, But the forefather Lot, he had that intuition. He knew he was among great company. So he made it an excuse he wanted to tarry all night with these angels, these men. All right. And verse 3, because it says he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house, and he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. So showing you that these angels were actually men who actually ate, And Lot had the presence to understand who they were. All right. He had the faith and the presence to understand who they were. Let's go to Genesis 18. Oh, I could have just flipped it. 18. And we're going to go to 6 through 8. Let's read it. Genesis 18, 6 through 8 says, And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of final meal, knead it and make cakes upon the hearth. And Abraham ran unto the herd and fetched a calf tender and good, and gave it unto a young man to dress it. And he took butter and milk and the calf which he had dressed, and he set it before them, and he stood by them under a tree, and they did eat. All right. So just an account of Abraham doing the same thing. And hey, he got this ram, and he put some dressing on it, and showing you, hey, that they did eat. Just like those angels, they actually ate. Let's go back to Genesis 19. I think we're at 4. It says, But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. So all these Sodomites, who were actually descendants of Ham, because I believe Sodom was a Canaanite territory. Okay, actually, I think I made a. Yeah. Sodom was a Hamite, Canaanite territory. Okay, so that's why they were so wicked. Because this was not like a Israelite city. It was a Canaanite city where Lot was dwelling. All right. And really, it's before Isaac, so it's before Jacob and Esau. So it predates Jacob and Esau, so there was no Israelites yet, but there were the sons of God, which Abraham was the son of God. Prior to Jacob and Esau, in particular Jacob, there were the sons of God who we were known as. Okay. So let me see where we at. Yeah, verse 4, basically these men were sodomites, and they were trying to be homosexuals with these angels who were on the earth as men in this case. You wouldn't be able to sodomize an angel, So let's read verse 5. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, Where are the men which came in to see this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. So how they want to know them? That's sexually, In the scriptures, when it says you knew somebody, means you fucked them, means you had sex. All right. Verse 6. And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him. All right, so Lot shut the door, you know what I mean? These guys were trying to be homosexuals. Lot went over there and shut the door. Let's bring this precept out real quick. Judges 19:23. It says, And the man, the master of the house, went out unto them and said unto them, Nay, my brethren, nay, I pray you, do not so wickedly, seeing that this man is come into mine house, do not his folly. All right, so they were like, hey, don't do this wicked thing, because Sodom, being a sodomite is wicked. That's why Yahweh had to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, because the place was so wicked. And how much more wicked is Babylon, where we are in captivity unto this day? How much more wicked is Babylon? You would have to ask. One would have to ask. Let's go back to Genesis 19. And we are at 7. And said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Because remember, there was brethren in just because it was a Canaanite territory doesn't mean there weren't Israelites. All right, Israelites were scattered among all nations, including the land of Canaan. All right. It says, behold, now I have 2 daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. All right, so that's the kind of faith Lot had, you know. He was willing to give his 2 daughters before he was willing to give up these men whom he respected as angels, because he had the spirit and the wisdom to know who they were. You know, he was an elect. Lot was an elect. All right, let's keep reading. Actually, let's go to a quick precept again in Judges 19, and it's verse 24. And it says, behold, here is my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Them I will bring out now, and humble ye them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you. But unto this man do not so vile a thing. So it's the same testimony, basically, you know. They're offering these women a concubine, daughters, you know, a virgin, before they would, you know, that's how wicked sodomizing is. You know, the men of the Lord that are written of in this Bible, they offered their daughters and their concubines to the men, just so they would avoid that wickedness of sodomy, you know. That is a wicked spirit, man. If the Lord puts the spirit on you to be a homosexual, man, that is a fucked up spirit to be in, man. You know, straight up. Let's go back to Genesis, and we're going at 19, and we're at verse 9. It says, and they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them? And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. So these guys was like, hey, we're going to get at Lot's ass even more now, because he's trying to keep us from, you know, Lot was doing a righteous thing, you know. He even offered his daughters. And now it was time for those angels to use their power, their spiritual power, you know. But let's read first. Let's read first in Genesis 13:12. It says, Abraham dwelt in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelt in the cities of the plain and pitched his tent towards Sodom. But the men of Sodom were wicked sinners before the Lord exceedingly. All right, and showing you, you know, Sodom and Gomorrah, they had to be destroyed, just like America has to be destroyed. But that's where Lot was dwelling, you know. Genesis 9, 19, and we're on verse 10. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them and shut the door. And the men that he's talking about are the angels. And it says in 11, and they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. So these men, they became frightened at the spiritual power of these angels. So we're going to go to 2 Kings 6 and 18. It says, "And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Lord and said, Smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with the blindness according to the word of Elisha." So there's a spiritual blindness and there's a physical blindness in this. Because these people in Sodom and Gomorrah, obviously they were spiritually blind, and they became physically blind at the presence of those angels. All right. Back to 19, and we're at verse 12. All right, verse 12 says, "And the men said unto Lot, Hast thou here any besides son-in-law and thy sons and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place." So, the angels were like, hey, tell your family to get the hell out of Dodge, man, because Sodom and Gomorrah is about to get fucked up. So let's go to Genesis for a precept. Genesis 7 and 1. It says, "And the Lord said unto Noah, Come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation." See, so he's comparing Noah and Lot in this situation because he's about to flood the earth in Noah's case. So he said, hey, go grab your house and get him into the ark, meaning go grab your family, get him in the ark. And that's the same opportunity Yahweh's doing in Genesis 19 with Lot. He's saying, hey, he's telling him, hey, go get your family, go get your son-in-laws. That's verse 12. This is what it says. "And the men said unto Lot, Hast thou any besides son-in-law and thy sons and thy daughters? And whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place." Let's go to another precept. Peter. 2 Peter 2 and verse 7. And it says, "And delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked." All right, so Lot was the only one because his son-in-laws they thought he was mocking, being a mocker. They didn't believe that the cities were going to get destroyed. Just like the people now, they don't believe that America is going to be destroyed. So we're going back to Genesis 19. I believe we're on 13. It says, For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord has sent us to destroy it."